Hi everyone, welcome back. So we're back to factoring and we're going to do lesson 6-3, factoring trinomials. And I hope just like last time that you guys actually read and looked at the examples I gave you. The book is really helpful. We're still factoring trinomials. The difference is in the previous section it was x squared plus bx plus c. It was just an x squared in the front. In this section, we add an a, or we add a number or a coefficient in the front. It is still the same process. It's just now that we add the number here, it just kind of opens up the possibilities of options and how many times we have to guess and test. Also, one thing that I want to make sure still throughout every single section, 6-1, 6-2, 6-3, the first thing, always look for, do you have a greatest common factor? Take that out first. I believe it was on the last homework assignment, 6-2, worksheet number 2. I believe it was question number 14. A lot of you missed it because you forgot to take out the greatest common factor. So take it out first if there is one, okay? Super important. Take the greatest common factor out first. All right, so let's just start with some examples. Here we go. Number 1. All right, so the problems are still similar. The difference is now it's 3x squared plus 11x plus 6. All right, so when we did this guess and test process before, and a lot of this guessing and testing, and this is what makes it a little bit harder, is a lot of this happens in your head. Now, for the 6, that part is still the same. Your choices for 6 are 1 times 6, 2 times 3. So that part isn't bad. The harder part is now you also need to contend with the 3 in the front. Now I picked an easy one because for this one, 3 times 1. So your only choice here is a 3x and an x. So this one is a little bit easier. But now the choices for the second part are either a 1 and a 6 or a 2 and a 3. So watch what's happening in your head. All right, so here's your choices. You could have a 1 and a 6, or you could have a 6 and a 1, or you need to go to your other options, a 2, 3, 3, 2. So these are all the possibilities just for this one problem. Now, I also picked this one because this one's a little bit easier. Since this is a plus, this is a plus, you know that regardless for this one, they're all pluses. Now, I don't expect you every time to write out every possibility. I'm just showing you this is one way to do it. Okay, and then you would just have to start guessing and checking and going on. So like I guessed the first one, 3x squared. So now I'm going to check it, and checking is by doing Pythagorean theorem. Okay, that equals 19. Wrong. Didn't work. This one, 3x squared plus 3x plus 6x. Okay, that gave me a 9x. Wrong. Did not work. Then I went to this one, 3x squared plus 9x plus 2x plus 6. Ding, ding, ding. This one worked. Okay, and then my other option, just to make sure that you see it, 3x squared plus 6x plus 3x. That only gave me a 9x. Did not work. All right. So the process is just a little bit longer, but just like I said before, you will eventually just kind of see the combinations happening. All right, so let me talk you through this one, and then I'll have you just kind of start trying. 2x squared plus 11x plus 15. All right, so for this one, I kind of started off a little bit easier again. because the 2, your only choices are the 2x and the x. 15, okay, you could have 1 and 15. You could have 3 and 5. All right, so again, you have this, so the 2x, the x, and you just need to start picking and guessing and checking. 1, 15. Now this is where you don't have to write them all out. Like I would just try 1. And again, I gave you both pluses, so that helped with the signs. Try 1, guess it. 2x squared, outer, plus 30x plus x, and stop right there. You already know, too high. If you have yours, which I think I might have an eraser on here somewhere, okay, you can go back through. So now I can switch 15, 1. 2x squared plus 2x plus 15x. Okay, that one's closer, but that gave me a 17. Wrong. All right, so then now I go on to the next one. 2x plus 3, x plus 5. All right, so 2x squared plus 10x plus 3x. That's a 13. Wrong again, so let's hope. All right, 2x squared plus 6x plus 5x plus 15. Lo and behold, 11x, that one worked. Now, like I said, all this stuff that I've been like writing down, you can just guess, check it, guess, test it by doing the foiling, erase, try again. Like you do not have to write it out one by one by one by one like I did. Okay, you can just, like I said, guess in your head, try it out. Okay, so now let's look at this one. I'm going to give you a few hints and I'm going to have you try it. 8x squared minus 22x plus 5. So now this one, I have complicated a little more. All right. The 5, so I switched it up on this side because the 5, your only options are 1 and 5. However, here's where I switched it up. The 8. So now your choices are 1 times 8, 2 times 4. If you notice, I also switched the signs, positive and a negative. Okay, now think about this before you even start. Okay, in order to multiply to get a positive, but add and subtract to get a negative, your signs this time have to both be what? Negatives. Okay, so now you know this part, 1 has to be 1 has to be a 5. You just have to guess and check, is it like a 1x and an 8x? Or is it going to be a 2x and a 4x? You just need to start guessing and testing. All right, so hit pause. See how many tries it takes you to get the problem, and then come back. All right, so when I did this one, all right, again, you just got to try. 1 and 5. Okay, I tried that one. 8x squared minus x minus 5. Not even close to 22. Wrong. Your answer should have been 2x minus 5, 4x minus 1. Because when you FOIL that out, 8x squared minus 2x minus 5x plus 5. Oh, I was wrong. Hold on. 2x minus, that should be a 20x. I apologize. Okay. Okay. Ooh. All right. Let's take a look at question number 4. All right. So for this one, let's do 15x squared minus 22x plus 8. All right, let me get you started on this one. The 8. So for the 8, your choices are 1 times 8, 2 times 4. Not too bad. For the 15, your choices are 1 times 15, 3 times 5. All right, so what I want you to do is hit pause And I want you to keep track of how many tries did it take you to get the right answer. Now again, look at the signs. I still made this one somewhat easier. Okay, a positive and a negative. Okay, in order to multiply to be a positive, okay, and add and subtract to be a negative, they both have to be a negative times a negative. So you know that you've at least got double negative signs. Like you've got to start kind of thinking some of those tricks in your head. All right, hit pause. All right, so now your answer should have been 3x minus 2, 5x minus 4. All right, 15x squared minus 12x minus 10x plus 8. That one worked. And what I want you to look at is how many tries did it take? Like, were you able to get it pretty quickly? Did it take a while? All right, let's look at number 5. And again, I keep telling you this, that it's guess, check, find a good eraser. All right, so now for this one, you might notice I added an x, I added a y. So make sure first term's going to have an x, second term, make sure it has a y. Now this one I made a little more difficult, not with the numbers, because if you notice the 3, your choice is 1 times 3. Not too bad there. 10, my choices are 1 times 10, 2 times 5. Not too bad there. The part that I made a little more difficult this time is this minus here. In order to get a negative, when you multiply, one of them has to be a plus, one of them has to be a minus. So there's a little more guessing and testing. All right, hit pause, and I want you to again guess, test, check, see if it works, and I want you to try to keep track of how many tries did it take, or time yourself. How long did it take? 30 seconds? 1 minute? All right, welcome back. You should have come up with 5x plus y, 2x minus 3y. Hopefully you came up with that answer. I'm sure there's somebody out there, maybe Deepthi, maybe Joey, somebody that got it on the first try. Ooh, maybe Quinn might have gotten it on the first try. Okay, so you need to kind of keep track of how many tries is it taking you. All right, let's look at number 6. Now, if you look at this one, 24x to the 4th plus 40x cubed plus 6x squared. Now, as you look at this one, before you start trying to guess and check and erase and try again, hopefully you notice something right away. You should have noticed that you could take out a greatest common factor. Do that first. It will make your life easier. You should have taken out a 2x squared. So here's what you're left with. 12x squared plus 20x plus 3. Now you're back to the process from before. To get the 3, 1 times 3. Now over here I kind of ran out of room, but to get to the 12, 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. So now this one is a little bit harder because now you have this option, this option, this option. Okay. Look at your signs, positive, positive. So that should be a hint that when you go to do this, both of the parentheses should be positives. Now, hit pause, see how many tries it takes, and come back to me. All right. Well, hopefully we're getting a little bit better at these. You should have had 2x plus 3, 6x plus 1. Now, something that I forgot to mention is you could have it written in this order, and I know somebody would have asked this in class. The order of the parentheses doesn't matter. It's what's in the parentheses that matter. The part that I need to point out that some people were forgetting on your homework is this 2x squared that I took out has to come down in my final answer. That is part of my final answer. This answer or this answer, but that 2x squared has to be there. All right, hopefully you're doing well. We've got a few more because I want to try to do all like the special ones and all this other. All right, so question number 7, negative 6x squared minus 13x plus 5. Now, for this one, we've talked before, in the parentheses, you always want that first number in the parentheses to be a positive. So for this one, let's see, this is my eraser. So for this one, before you start, you should have again taken out a greatest common factor of -1. Take that out, 6x squared plus 13x minus 5. All right, so now I want you to try this one start to finish by yourself. Hit pause. See what you can do. All right, so here's what you should have come up with. -1, 3x minus 1, 2x plus 5. Foil it back out really quickly. Just make sure 6x squared plus 15x minus 2x minus 5. Okay, 13x minus 5, we're good. Check. All right, I want you to try this one completely by yourself. These next two, and then we're done with our notes. Totally by yourself. I'm not going to say a word. 16r minus 40r squared plus 25r cubed. Hit pause, and then come back when you're ready. All right, so let's see if you remembered this. Number 1, I rewrote my order. So first thing I did is I put the cubed first, just because it makes it easier for me. Next, did you take out the greatest common factor of the r? 25r squared minus 40r plus 16. Now, this one again, a little bit harder because you've got a bigger number. You've got the 25 is pretty big. The 16 has more options. All right, let's see if you got the final answer. Ready? R times. Should have had 5r minus 4, 5r minus 4, or you could have written it r times 5r minus 4, the quantity squared. Or, okay, if you did not rewrite it, which you did not have to, I would also still accept, and it would be perfect, r times 4 minus 5r, 4 minus 5r, or r times 4 minus 5r squared. Now for this one, you didn't have to rewrite it because the first term was still positive. It still all worked. So for this one, I would have accepted any of those 4 answers. All right. Hold on. All right, last one, number 9. Here we go. 18x squared plus 31x minus 10. Hit pause. See what you can do. All right, so for this one, no greatest common factor. Okay, I gave you bigger numbers again. All right, with the 18, you had a lot of options. You had 118, 29, 6, 3. For the 10, 10 times 1, 2 times 5. So these just get a little bit harder, but the final answer should be, anyone? Anyone? 18x minus 5x plus 2. All right, Now, this section, once you get the hang of it, it'll get easier. This one might take a little bit longer. Now, today you still have the odds to do, and I want you to check the odds in the back of the book. Submit your odds. Tomorrow, you guys will have a worksheet, and tomorrow I will hold another just optional Zoom session if you have questions, if you just want extra practice and all of that. All right, see you later.